paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. This is a very special episode because we have a lot to talk about this week, and some of it, you might even say, is magic related. So welcome into the show. I'm Corbin.
If every episode is special, then no
I
episodes are
understand,
special.
but sometimes I'm not here, and those are the not special episodes. I guarantee you they're not welcomed in as a special episode. Checkmate.
That's actually not
we pretend
true.
that they're the most special episodes.
Okay.
Also, I think every episode has been introduced for around 250 episodes as a very special episode.
Okay,
or a
well,
special
DJ
episode.
Wait, how
Listen,
would you know
listen.
that? Do you like listen
No,
to the podcast or
DJ's knowledge
something?
is whatever, but what would you know? You're just like a podcast editor named JJ who's been doing like 8 years or something.
It has been a long time. I crossed the line a while ago of being the longest editor for Brainstorm
Longest tenured
Brewery.
Brainstorm Brewery editor.
Yeah.
Well, welcome into the show. Welcome in, everybody. It's me, DJ, and JJ tonight. A lot of initials for you all, I guess.
I'll have these two hand puppets as Cass and Jason if anyone wants.
And yeah, okay, yep. I like that while everyone is, and by everyone I mean everyone, of course, who is watching on is seeing DJ's hands there. What they're really seeing is that sweet Coalesce hoodie, Coalesce t-shirt, a Brainstorm Brewery that DJ. Check that.
Yeah.
I actually don't have any air conditioning in my house, but I still feel like I'm in Miami Beach. It's just like a nice toasty. Sure, I'm in upstate New York. Like there's a blizzard outside.
Wait, is there
but
really?
I'm playing.
I'm so jealous.
What?
Is there
It's
really a
upstate
blizzard
New York.
outside?
Blizzard's starting like September.
Yeah.
I love snow. Sitting here December 5th, and all it is, it's just
You
cold.
love Snowman? Which Snowman?
Every snowman. Frosty, Abominable, Pasadena.
Okay, I have a question for you and all of our listeners on the topic of snowmen. So a year or two ago, I played a One of D&D campaign. It was like a Santa-themed D&D one shot. And I don't remember the exact spell I tried, but the topic of discussion, is Frosty the Snowman a humanoid?
No.
Or a cryptid. I don't know what a cryptid
What do you
is.
mean no?
Okay, so
explain
as
yourself.
a DM, my ruling would be that Frosty the Snowman is not a humanoid because he does not have the requisite body parts to be. Oh, well, I guess it depends on which version of Frosty the Snowman we're talking about.
That's where the discussion led, didn't it? I'm going to post something in the text channel.
Because if we go with the
I'm going to post my supporting argument.
yeah, is it the one with legs? Yeah,
The Burt Reynolds Frosty the Snowman.
yeah, that one.
Arguably the most famous version of Frosty on television.
That one's certainly much more arguable. I was thinking of like the like elf version of Frosty the Snowman, but that isn't called Frosty the Snowman for legal reasons.
But this one is very clearly the Legend of Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
He's bipedal. He has arms.
He has fingers.
and legs, and he has opposable thumbs. He can carry his popcorn pipe or whatever it is. And I made the
You don't need
argument that I
opposable
can
thumbs to-
use. You can chopstick it.
He's not humanoid because he doesn't have genitalia. There we go. We figured it
Aren't his
out.
fingers made out of sticks? He's literally chopsticking everything. I don't know, man. My Frosty lore maybe not up to date.
Corbin, I'm gonna thumpity thump your brain in if we keep this up.
Yeah, I accept my. Let's move on. The magic. Oh, hey, by the way, did you know some cards were banned?
Modern
In
is saved.
Explorer.
Pioneer.
Or is it ruined forever? Inside of me are two wolves.
Obviously, you know this, but we'll run it down. Pioneer, Karn the Great Creator, banned. Geological Appraiser, banned. Modern, Fury, banned. Up the Beanstalk, banned. Hopper, Monastery Swift Spear, we won't forget about Pauper on this show. I know lots of people have in the discussions. Nor will we forget about Explorer. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what Explorer is exactly. So, but I guess some of the same.
Pioneersoon.tm.
Also,
what
Smuggler's
Explorer
Copter
is.
is unbanned. I kind of forgot Smuggler's Copter was ever banned in Pioneer to begin with. Apparently, it's really the Wild Nacatl ban of the format, right? Like, it
Mhm.
was good and aggressive decks early.
It turns out to be the Wild Nacatl ban of the format if it's bad.
I mean, it might be bad.
You know, Nacatl, like, kind of gets in and out.
Also, artifact removal is just incidental anymore. Like, it's just stapled onto other cards or destroy an artifact.
I think
Yeah.
Smuggler's Copter is still very good as a card, but it will come down to what the format. Like, let's not pretend that.
That's a lot of words to say nothing.
Well, listen, I have more. Let's not pretend that the Pioneer format before Geological Appraiser broke it was not already kind of broken. You either play mono green, no deck could go over the top of, as they laid out in the fan article, or you play these absurdly fast decks like Boros Convoke, which is just spamming out your hand lethal demolition style by like the second or third turn, right? That's just the format had divulged, and then you have a Lotus Field combo, and maybe and everything's just so extreme. So does Smuggler's Copter fit in? It's a powerful card, but does it actually fit into the format? We literally don't know, because this is the first time mono green is losing Karn. Like, everything is going to change in the format because of that.
Mono green needed a hit. Like, Karn was part of the reason the format of Pioneer, in my opinion, was so polarized in that direction, where every deck either needed to be super degenerate and fast or go way, way over the top, is because mono green just ate up all of the middle. Like, you couldn't be a mid-rangey, middle of the road deck because you would just get destroyed by mono green.
Yeah, because it could just always go over the top.
Well, and it had Karn, so it would just
Right.
grab whatever the silver bullet was to, like, shut down your engine or whatever you were doing
Well, yeah,
to
and
get
it-
advantage in your mid-range game.
Yeah.
They would just go to get whatever sideboard piece they needed to shut it down, and then eventually kill you with some.
Yeah, I mean,
stupid combo.
Karn is a very unhealthy card in that sense, which is the primary reason I called it out. But also, it has the stupid static ability, and I still maintain that static abilities on Planeswalkers are one of the worst. I mean, look, there's like Cascade, Storm, Discover, and then there's like
Planeswalkers are
static
attackable.
abilities on Planeswalkers. Narset, Harder Veils, just absolutely disgusting. We all know how much hated Teferi is, and Karn's up there for me, just shutting down all artifacts.
Are static abilities on Planeswalkers better or worse than static abilities on artifacts or enchantments that are harder to get rid of?
They're worse.
You can attack a Planeswalker.
Yeah, but we were trained for a decade that Planeswalkers did not have static ability.
But you could also protect them,
So?
right? Like, they require you to throw your creatures.
Yeah, look,
at
you can
them,
just
which
attack-
means
They don't require you,
that you
Yeah,
can.
they don't require you to throw their creatures at them anymore because every card has or destroy a Planeswalker staple. to
Attack
it.
Karn with your Smuggler's Copter. It'll be fine. Oh wait. So look, the truth is Pioneer and Modern here are going to be wide open, but let's talk about some of the philosophy, because I think this is maybe a more interesting discussion here. We're not going to know what's best in Pioneer. Obviously, Merfolk. We already knew that. So let's talk about their philosophy. They say that over the past year and a half, Wizards kind of did a mea plus said, yeah, we kind of just ignored Pioneer. Oops. Hope you didn't hate it. But they intend on being more active stewards of the format moving forward. Which means, more, one would presume, more bans. One would presume that mono green type deck won't live on for 2 years like it did here. But at the same time, this is the counterpoint that needs to be made. When Lost Caverns of Ixalan came out, before the Cascade decks, the Discover decks were even a thing, mono green was already on the way down. Is it Phoenix? Was 5 of the top 8 decks at the Canadian. a regional championship. No mono green. Wasn't performing very well. Win rates at high level events were not that high. But at the same time, everything we said about Karn. So I don't know. With Wizards, on the one hand, it kind of was solving itself, but on the other hand, it wasn't very fun to get there.
I think that Wizards should have taken something at mono green, whether it was Nykthos or Karn or... I mean, you can't take Kiora when you're going to give them up the Beanstalk in a set, but like if you... I think mono green needed something to get hit in their deck for quite a while on Pioneer. Like, people have been talking about that since, I don't know, April or earlier of last year. Like, back when, like, it was like you could beat mono green or you can beat Rakdos, but you can't beat them both. You're going to lose to one of the two. So decide who you want to lose to more. And Rakdos kind of fell down a bit in popularity during that time. With up the Beanstalk and everything else pushing green even further.
Well, DJ, do you think Wizards should jump in early when a deck is a problem, or give the format 6 months to sort itself out if players don't like
it? Give people time to sort things out.
So, do you think? I mean, in this case, like I said, everything against Karn and stands on the one side. The metagame sorting itself out stands on the other. So, an interesting.
It's not binary either, though, right? Like, there's two extremes you're talking about, and the option is the middle ground of like either don't ban Karn for 2 years or ban it immediately. No, like wait 6 months or something, and then do it then.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why it's interesting, because they banned it after 2 years when it wasn't dominating.
They banned it because it wasn't fun.
I think that maybe gets more at the point, right? That drives that segues us well into modern, because Rakdos scam 53% win rate deck. I tweeted that out the other day, and I had people saying in the replies, I just that one sentence, people saying, "Yeah, but it's still got to go, you disgusting Fury grief enjoyer," and on the other hand, people going, "Oh my god, that's crazy. Of course something has to be banned." Which goes to tell you that most people don't actually know whether or not a 53 win percent deck is good or not. Just like they don't actually know whether or not Scam was broken. They just know that it wasn't very fun to play against. And for the record, 53% win rate, obviously above average, especially when everyone knows about it. And that is probably the more relevant thing. But a 53% win rate in a given tournament or whatever doesn't really mean much. But a 53% win rate when you're the number one deck in the format does. And I think that context changes a lot. So with that in mind, Fury's gone and Up the Beanstalk is gone because Wizards didn't want the bean.
The beans were inherently broken with the elementals. And like, if you don't take the Beanstalk out now, then we're just going to have another 6 months. They banned
Fury.
I mean, Fury is not the only one that is egregious with them. I mean, you're just going to continue to Solitude, draw a card.
No, that's it. It's just Solitude.
Yeah.
And Commandeer and every other card that they print in the future that has like an alternative casting card. Leyline Binding is free. Like,
let's not forget you can also Cascade.
Look, I think I'm somewhat trolling, but I think the answer is that 4-color brews probably needed something, right? Yeah. In their estimate. Like Omnath is right up there with the One Ring for me. Omnath is disgusting to play against. Those Omnath Beans decks and Bean Value decks were just kind of egregious. I think they probably could have left it be, because with Fury gone, who knows? Maybe aggro will be a thing, right? Maybe people will play, honest to God, attacking decks, right? Now people have these dreams of humans coming back and elves coming back and all these things that are just not going to be true. Sorry. But, I mean, maybe.
I mean, what's the best aggro deck in Modern? right now, in your
Default.
opinion? Okay, that was a dumb question because I knew what the answer was going to be.
Ask me what the best mid-range deck is. Ask me what the best control deck is.
To answer your question, it's like Hammer, right? It's
See, Hammer hasn't done anything in months and months and months. Hammer is like gone. So this could bring Hammer back.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to see if Hammer comes back now that you can't instant speed, like, mess up everything they're trying to do.
we need to get a Universes Beyond One Piece so we can have Zoro as like Pure Steel Paladin.
So,
But I wonder, do you think Hammer still has the problem? Because now I assume that Bowmaster is just going to be everywhere now, right?
well,
like,
Bowmasters
insert
is
new problem.
Bowmasters is a self-correcting problem. Like at some
'Cause they
point,
kill
it
each
has
other?
put. At some point, Bowmasters has pushed all the 1 toughness creatures out of the format, and now Bowmasters doesn't do it. Right? Like that's the evolution there.
I mean, it still
It
draws your
sucks,
cards.
right? It's not fun. I think Bowmasters is probably on the list of like it's right there, right? The list is Fury, Bowmasters, Ren 6 for cards that really punish you for trying to play fair creature decks. And I don't know what they're gonna do. But so looking at the list here, I got the metagame pulled. Going in to answer your question, the best aggro deck was in fact Hammer Time at a 5% metagame. After that, you're looking at like Burn at 3%, and I don't even know if you call Burn aggro when
I don't.
Burn is a combo deck.
Burn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
life total
Burn.
control deck.
So like the big winner here is Yawgmoth. Those decks are disgusting, and I don't think people realize how disgusting those decks are, but they're about to. With that, so if you're looking for, I guess, if we're trying to give some financial advice, Halfling is likely the biggest winner of all of this. Next to good in decks already, it's by far, I think, going to be the winner. And it's only like $10. It's pretty reasonable to pick. But yeah, Yawgmoth itself may be a pick, but Yawgmoth decks are absurd.
Corbin,
Wrist
Corbin,
is
Delighted
also a card that
Halfling
can
is a
be
game
crazy.
piece, and that means it should be worth what I want it to be worth.
$1. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the other thing. There's too much. There's a lot of news going around, but that's the other side of Twitter. Is more news of store owners dropping Magic. Old cards are illiquid. You've heard us talk about it. So the other thing in Modern though is this also may bring back the Cascade. I think when people decided that cascading into Up the Beanstalk was better than cascading into Living End or Crashing Footfalls or Ancestral Vision is when we had a problem.
We
Right.
jumped the shark at that point.
Yeah, I would say so, frankly. But yeah, it'd be great to see Hammer come back. It would be great to see, some of these other decks kind of shake up. There's a lot going on beneath the surface, and look at it this way: Fury and Grief have been scamming people since Modern Horizons 2, which was years ago. How many cool cards from Modern Horizons 2 and onward have just been kept out, not just by Fury killing them or whatever, but by the metagame developing in such a way that Fury and Rakdos scam were everywhere. Definitely a lot to take in. And you can do all of that at mtgstocks.com. Our generous sponsor, the best place for all of your Magic financial news. We use it to track picks and trends every week. If you check out the premium side of the website, you can get personal and you won't be the last to know that Battle Bus from the Secret Lair series of Smuggler's Copter is a card to be looking for. Go check out mtgstocks.com and check out our Breaking Bulks coming at you right now.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
Throne of Eldraine, colorless, uncommon. Go.
Wilds of Eldraine, colorless, uncommon, you say?
Yes.
Is it the Herald or the Banner or whatever it is?
It is
Or plus
Heraldic
1/0?
Barrow, or Heraldic Banner, not Heraldic Barrow. I picked an easy one, a little softball for you. Figured I'd go
Thank
easy
you.
on
The
after.
kids tried to help you out there and up the degree of difficulty, but we got there.
Heraldic Banner is a 3 mana artifact, and it's a mana rock for that artifact, and it gives your creatures +1. It is a very it's what I like to call a Facebook Magic card. This is the kind of card that gets high visibility by people just getting into Magic for the first time. A lot of Lord of the Rings players coming in through that avenue of the game and just saying, I want to build a Wraith deck, and then, all my creatures are black mana rock or whatever, and then this will show up through search engine optimization and fill out their deck so that they can cast Witch King of whatever.
Yeah. It's one of those cards that you're immediately attracted to when you first start deck building.
Yes.
And it doesn't
It's
matter
like $1.
whether the good or not, whether it's the best version of that card, because you're not optimizing at this point yet.
Right, and eventually they will find their way to the Thran Dynamos and the Arcane Signets and the Commander format and the better mana rocks, but
yeah, and I don't know. Like, cards like that they serve as an important stepping stone for players, and if we don't, and they'll almost always surprise you as far as like what the price on them ends up being, because most people, like you've said 100 times, play kitchen table Magic. They don't even play in stores or play elsewhere. They're just putting together decks to play against their friends at the kitchen table or their Commander sealed decks or whatever.
in most of those players' words, they play Vintage. And they will go turn one white bordered mountain, Soul Ring, go.
Yep.
All right, I'll jump in here. I'm not going to lie. I'm extraordinarily confident. A Battle Bond blue uncommon. You don't have a shot. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Battle Bond is
That is what
I'm. Is it the partner to the green one? There's like a green blue partner.
no, they're rare.
No, they're not.
No, and
Are they not?
Toothy
Okay.
and-
I'm not talking about Pure.
Toothy and Pierre. Pierre.
It doesn't matter. That's not what it is. It's an elemental hound.
It's an elemental what?
Chakram Retriever.
It is Chakram Retriever. It's $1. It's a $5 foil. It partners with Chakram's Slinger. And whenever you cast a spell during your turn, you untap a creature. I assume this has some kind of combo stuff involved.
It's Paradox Engine. Everyone get under the covers and hide. It kind of is Paradox Engine.
I mean, as long as you can
mini
do it with a
Paradox Engine,
singular
right?
creature, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a million creatures in this game that tap for 8 mana now. That's all you need.
Sure.
Like tap to gain 1 of any color for each enchantment you control, or tap to gain 1 mana for each power your greatest or whatever. There's so many things that are just tap makes Selvala kind of nonsense where you're just, I know it can't go in Selvala, but like that kind of card where you're just make 4, play a thing, untap, make 4, play a thing, untap, and then you win the game next turn.
Yeah.
All right, JJ, did you come prepared with a Breaking Bulk?
I do. I have one. It is a Modern Masters 2017 common. Black common.
This was the fetched land one.
Yes. Yes.
I have no idea what the themes were.
MM17.
I can tell you what the theme is.
What do you mean the theme?
Like
The theme was reprint modern cards and make
Yeah.
them cheaper.
I was trying
That
to
was
figure
the
out
theme.
what cards could be there based on draft archetypes, you know?
Blue white was the blink theme.
I think I did one draft of this.
I think this is the Diluvian Primordial. Yes, this is the Diluvian.
Okay, whatever. This
Primordial.
isn't going to help. It's a black common.
It's a black common, formerly a rare, downshifted. That should really narrow
It
down for
does.
Shifted rare to common?
They do that a lot nowadays. Goliath Sphinx is common in Commander Masters, which kind of blew my mind. Hmm. This is a good
Removal
one.
Spell. It could be a removal spell.
It's not Hero's Downfall. Because that was reprinted later at Uncommon.
It's a creature.
You're gonna say it, and I'm gonna say, oh darn diggity, I should have got this. What is it? I give
Mortician's Beetle.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep.
Does it
Yeah.
get a counter when you? What is that?
That's whenever a player sacrifices a creature, it gets a counter. One
It's a
mana,
counter,
1/1.
yeah.
And it's an insect. So
I did not know those
initially
were
the supply got kind of sucked up when Grist came out. Like you can see where like the market price and average price converged then. And now it's going into a second spike, and there's obviously, we know second spikes mean there are less out there in the general world. So now it's spiking a lot harder on market price, and your buy list on this has gone up to about 50 cents.
Oh, this is pretty good.
Yep.
And as much as I want to tell you scored here, AJ, unfortunately, there is a flag on the play.
Oh,
Mortician Beetle was originally in Rise of the Empire.
So
yeah, that's not the
Have to know
version that I'm
you gotta
concerned
tell
about.
us the original printing. An original printing game.
No,
Everyone knows
I
that.
told you it was previously
My card
a
is
rare.
Beast Within from Commander
Corbin,
Masters.
if you don't throw the flag on the play when he says Modern Masters 2017, then it's a good play. Like that set
It was
is
a
all
booth.
reprints.
Do you understand how I throw the challenge flag after the play? Red flag on the ground. You don't watch football. Get out of here.
He said Modern Masters 2017, which is an all reprint set, and then you couldn't guess it, and now you're a sour grapes gal.
You gotta tell us the original set. That would have maybe helped.
I don't think it would have.
He would have said Rise of the Eldrazi Rare, and you would have been like, Sengir Vampire. No? What about Subtlety? I'm good at this.
AJ, there's no vampires on Tinder.
What? I assume that's diving out of camera as he quickly realizes that's not right.
Oh, get baited.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, no. Speaking of
Moving on.
vampires and Zendikar, I spent the past 4 months of them talking about the new Magic set, the murder mystery one. I spent the past 4 months thinking it was Murders at Markov Manor, and then they started previewing cards on Ravnica, and I was like, what? I thought, is this like a multi-plane fusion thing? Like, are people like going from Ravnica to Innistrad to solve clues? What is going? And then I finally read Murders at Karlov Manor. And that makes so much more sense. I mean, it doesn't because it's a stupid Scooby-Doo set, but like now I get it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm checking my computer right now to see how many times I've gotten it wrong. The answer could be 0, but it also might be more than 0. I'm not gonna lie. I really thought it was an Innistrad set. I thought we were doing a murder mystery.
I mean, it makes as much sense as the other.
So,
like, neither
wait a
one's
minute.
particularly more
We're on
logical.
Ravnica?
Yeah.
Innistrad is much more intuitive for a murder mystery. What are you talking about? It's
What
the
is
spooky
happening?
plane.
But this
Why
has
are we on Ravnica?
this has law enforcement officers. It has spies.
There's cops.
There's hedonists.
I'm picturing a Gruul guy getting like a giant hulking Gruul guy getting arrested, and then like the Ravnican mage just talking to the camera like the Azorius guy's like we got him, we're gonna plant this coke right here, and then the Gruul guy is like me lawyer, and they're like it's a Tom Segura bit. I'm not stealing anything. Like he did a great bit on that, but like there's a great like if you ever watch the show Cops and the one time the guy says lawyer up, he gets away at the end. Spoilers.
So Karlov Manor, it turns out, is on Ravnica, not Innistrad. There are no vampires. So when
Wait, are
people
you-
die, they're
What?
What?
What? There are vampires on
Are you trolling again?
Ravnica.
It's so
But
hard to
not
tell when you're trolling
Markov.
and when you're being dumb because
The
Well,
most
DJ, that's my
famous
superpower.
vampire.
That's my secret.
The most famous vampire is on Innistrad. Vampire Nighthawk.
that's Zendikar.
Dang it!
Good try, JJ.
I tried.
Good try. Listen, I thought it was literally going to be like a family drama, like a family whodunit for the Markov family. I actually thought that was the premise of this.
Me too.
But also, Wizards, if you're listening, will be interested in that set.
I guess we'll see how this one goes over. Look, is this like they were like, "Hey, Knives Out is popular. Let's make a Knives Out set." Is that the
Whoa.
premise?
Knives Out is a knockoff of Clue,
okay?
which is what the set is actually based on because Clue is a Hasbro property.
You are a boomer.
I mean, I'm not trying, like, I love Knives Out. It's a better version in a lot of ways, but it is a copy of the original Clue movie
I
for the most
understand.
part.
My favorite part of
Yes,
Knives
and-
Out was when they did the big reveal of who had the murder weapon, and the guy told everyone to put their knives out, and then you could see which one had blood on it. That was a really cool moment.
It was the best. It just brought the whole movie together.
Yeah, and that
You
was
just
that
roll
was the take
credits.
from, and they copied that from Morbius when he said it's Morbin time.
Yeah, DJ, spot on, man.
I'm the movie
Just
guy.
dropping movie-
Jason's not the movie guy. I'm the movie guy.
Exactly. DJ out here dropping movie knowledge bombs on JJ that he never knew.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Ravnica set. We're going back to Ravnica. There's Shockland again.
There are Shocklands as the main selling point of Ravnica Remastered, which is the
Mhm,
product
mhm.
that has cards from every product that has ever been on Ravnica. So Ravnica City of Guilds through Guild Pact, and then Return to Ravnica through Gatecrash and Dragon's Maze.
So this is a paper product they're doing.
It is like Time Spiral Remastered, yes, where Time Spiral
Yes.
Remastered had all cards from Time Spiral era, like Dominaria Remastered had cards from Dominaria era.
Mhm.
The issue with that is Dominaria Remastered had a lot of cards that were very valuable that it crushed in value, like Worldly Tutor, like Mystical Tutor, like Defense Grid, like a ton of half of Magic history at one point was on Dominaria. Ravnica Remastered has a decent amount of sets on Ravnica, but none of them have any value. I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
Doubling Season is a card that is worth money, kind of now. And we have Shocklands, we have Chromatic
Didn't miss it.
Lantern, we have Finale of Devastate. Like, it's a stretch to find cards that are worth putting in this that will make people want to order it in open pack. And then the other side of that is they decided to, again, for whatever reason, put a bunch of serialized cards in it at 1 in 500. Not 1 in 500 per pack, but like there are 500 copies of each serialized card.
Mhm.
And Michael Caffrey at GOA Michael, he's on Twitter, but he did the napkin math here. If you do the calculations in how many pieces of product you need to print in order to sustain a 500x serialized card at the rarity they stated, that's a lot of boxes. Like, if you think about how many boxes need to be created to create a rarity on Steam Vents, 500 Steam Vents, like, in order to have a low pull
Well, and
chance.
Right, and the important part here is those boxes are getting printed no matter what.
Correct. Yeah, it's not like, oh, this is print to demand, and if nobody wants it, then there's a higher chance of Shocklands or whatever. It's just that there's going to be so much of it, and stores are going to take a bloodbath on it if they order too much, or if they order just some. But like, some stores have to order some in order to even be allocated for future good sets. So it's this really, really awkward problem for stores. And so Ravnica Remastered is its own clusterfuck of issues with supply. But Shocklands are supposed to be one of the selling points of the set. Oh, old border foil shocks. Get your old border foil shocks. We've done this to death. And then the Ravnica's Clue set also has Shocklands back to back. Whereas Shocklands used to be this thing that we came back to once
Yeah.
every 5 or 6 years of,
Yeah.
we finally get shocklands back again. We've had enough time for demand to satiate and for people to soak them up. But that's too many shocklands a short amount of time.
And they're coming into, so they're going to be into standard is the thing, yeah? So I guess it remains to be seen whether these actually hit into standard or not, depending on where in Karlov Manor set of releases they come. So we'll see on that. We had a fun little chat off the cache just now, trying to collectively figure out what's in what, and the answer is, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so 2 products with Shocklands coming into them. One is the mainline standard set. Yeah, it's a lot of Shocklands. We also just had the Galaxy ones not long ago, right?
Mm-hmm. So, like, one of the things that I think is a real problem with this, and like, is that yes, the serialized ones are special, and people are going to want to open those, but like even your regular Shocklands are not. They're not going to drive a box.
Serialized shocks are not special because there's so many shocks. Do you want breeding pool number 500 from or 487 from Ravnica Remastered or Karlov Manor, or do you want a Dissension breeding pool or do you want an Expedition breeding pool, or do you want a Galaxy foil breeding pool, or do you want your RTR foil breeding pool? Do you want your Guilds of Ravnica foil breeding pool? Do you want your promo pack foil breeding pool? Like, there are so many options for these that
Zendikar Expedition.
I said it. I did say Expedition, but it's just, who's the market for this? Like, if you make them 1 in 100, they're cooler, I guess.
But they're also already not that expensive. They're like Steam Vents, you know, at your lowest price point, you're looking at like $13 market price.
Yes.
Like, that's not an incentive to go open a pack unless you. Now, there's no MSRP, so it's possible that Wizards drops the bottom on these and makes the boxes cheaper. But then,
there's no way that
what's
happens.
your incentive?
There's no way that happens.
Well, they could do it on Amazon directly, but then then stores are going to get royally burnt, and they already don't want to order the product,
right?
Because they don't think the value is going to be there. So, I don't know. I don't know what the end game with this particular product is going to end up being, other than a fire sale on Amazon.
You can splice that in.
Yeah.
Sure
there are people on Twitter /X who are frustrated that they feel like they need the cards for their decks, and that these cards should be whatever they think they're worth. And there are consequences to that line of thinking reaching its end result. That is what I will say on the matter. The health of the game does not survive that line of thinking when taken to its end goal.
Yeah, I mean, it just becomes basic. Like, if cards aren't worth anything, then stores don't want to carry them. If stores aren't carrying Magic, then not only are you not going to get new players into Magic, but then the existing players are going to slowly kind of end up out of the product, or at least out of the community of the product, which means the game's going to degrade over time.
And yes, and Magic, if Wizards get struck by a meteor tomorrow, the game will live on, but the game will not continue. And those are different things.
Yeah. I checked my computer. I'm clean. Not only have I spelled it correctly every time, I got the set name right. Also, by the way, it's the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, not just Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Also, by the way, it's TCG undercase player, lowercase, not uppercase. Same.
Did you just worth? The question is, how long will it take for him to realize he's been booted?
Okay, so before we move off of Modern, we do have some information, some late-breaking information coming into us here at Brainstorm from, and I want to make sure I get this right, quote, someone who knows more than us about the format. That was my quote. That's how I know I got it right, because this is coming to you from Cass, and she definitely has a better take on what's looking good in these formats right now. Here we go. Stitcher Supplier plus Copter is one to look at because Copter can easily be crewed by the supplier, which can fuel the graveyard. That's a pretty good one. The other card Cass wanted to mention is Luxior Giada's Gift. 1 mana. Oh, wow. This is quite the card. It's a 1 mana artifact from, what is it? Streets of New Capenna. Equip a Planeswalker for 1. Equip anything else for 3. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. Equipped permanent isn't a Planeswalker and is a creature in addition to its other types, but loyalty abilities can still be activated. Some grist level weird creature Planeswalker mending right there, but yeah, that is certainly one of those cards that without Karn shutting down artifacts, you can look at. Okay, well,
in it combo.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think probably part of the reason that she's pointing that out, and I can't remember which Planeswalker exactly, there's a Planeswalker that combos out with that card. That's also in Pioneer. So
can be wide open. There's even some Merfolk to play in Pioneer now. Deshana's Tidebinder is extremely good in a bunch of formats. It's getting played by non-fish decks. What a great gift. Love it. A+. All right.
You take borderline playable cards and then you staple them onto a body and give it flash. Yeah.
An irrelevant creature type. That's all we need. All right, so let's move on to another new release because while we've been busy talking about the bands and the construction formats, there's also been some Universes Beyond, Doctor Who, Lair, Lord of the Rings type releases, and JJ, of course. So we've got him on. JJ, give us the lowdown. What's the most recent update on?
So in conjunction, for those of you who don't know, Doctor Who was kicking off it's not really a reboot, but a new continuation of their seasons, which includes them doing something that they have never done before, which is bringing back a former iteration of the Doctor as a new reincarnation of the Doctor. With everyone's favorite Doctor, David Tennant. So that kicked off with a holiday special that was aired on Disney Plus. But Wizards, for the first time that I think with any of these secret lairs, actually timed the release of the secret lair with the actual product coming out.
That's why it's notable.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually very impressive because I think this is the first time it's worked out for them.
It's hard. It's
right.
Not easy. Yeah.
The Baldur's Gate one was tough because they did everything right and game development.
Yeah, so to sort of further clarify on what JJ is talking about there for people, since we've entered this Universes Beyond world, the idea went beyond just, okay, well, let's tie in one of our favorite classic movies.
Let's make
stories.
The Walking Dead 6 years too late. Huh?
Right.
Huh? Bedroom executives, huh?
They got ahead of the curve and started trying to plan these out with future releases. Like, how cool would it have been if the Jurassic World stuff came out on the final Jurassic World, right? That would have been cool. Baldur's Gate 3 was the one where it really was probably set up to be the biggest success, and then Baldur's Gate 3, the video game, got pushed back, meaning the Baldur's Gate Magic cards came out long before it, kind of ruining it. But here we have the Doctor Who stuff premiered 2 weeks ago. There's another episode over the weekend, and they revealed the upcoming Secret Lair Magic Doctor Who cards that are characters that are introduced in the show. So a character that no one knew about until last week is now on a Magic card. Brand new, happening in the moment. I just assume this is what makes some kind of high-level marketing executive hard over the thought of synergy or whatever. But yeah, it's good promotion.
Yeah. And to be fair, these cards are they're good. Like, they'll be fun to play in Commander. The 14th Doctor, well, all of them kind of have massive paragraphs on them. But
so
the
does every
14th
common, actually.
That's fair. The 14th Doctor is synergizes very well with other doctors, kind of encouraging you to take all those or all the universes beyond Commander decks, pull your favorite doctors out of them, and put them into one deck and play it that way. Because when you cast him, you get to look at the top 14 cards of your library and put all doctors revealed this way into your graveyard, and then the rest on the bottom of your library in random order.
So I actually have thoughts on this.
Yeah.
The specific card. I want them to errata every medical professional card over the past 30 years and make them all
Battlefront
doctors.
medic.
And then I want them to go a step further and take every like crystal healing card and every essential oil card and every like
healing solve.
Yeah, all those are just doctors now. Like chiropractor doctor, crystal goblin wizard doctor, like all of like Benji, the Facebook ivermectin specialist, legendary 3/3 from 2019, doctor. Like,
does that make Stitcher Supplier a doctor's
yes.
companion? Doctor's companion?
Yes,
because they're the supplier.
He's a supplier. That's good. Yeah, it's more like just a piece in the supply chain. Full machine of capitalism. Anyone watch that John Oliver bit on what happens to your body after you do it? It's. Anyway, this is all going to tie in to my pick of the week when we get to that. But yeah, all in all, this is a neat sort of evolution here for Magic. I mean, think about Marvel Snap. They time every one of their patch releases, every set, essentially every season, every month, how they do it, and they tie it to whatever the latest Marvel thing is. Or a movie. They release cards that are characters from those movies. It's all extremely tied in, even though that's just a mobile game that, isn't exactly part of Marvel Studios.
League of Legends and Riot Games has gone really hard on this too over the past 7 years or so. It's no longer just this is a champion release, here you go. This is a champion that releases with a themed skin that is also released on Legends of Runeterra and also comes out on what's the Teamfight Tactics that also comes out with a whole genre music band theater organization that is all just entirely intentionally synchronized with some sort of lore.
It's wild how far League is taking it. Like I play a lot of TFT. The entire set, the music change, your composition, and that includes promotion, like K-pop, etc. Like it's a whole thing. So good for them.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
All right. Well, before we get out of here this week, we of course want to give you some picks of the week. And I think we're going to let the guest do the honors tonight, going first. JJ, what are you looking at?
Well, since I get to go first, I'm just going to take the one that I was pretty sure somebody was going to steal out from under me. Delighted Halfling. We talked about it earlier. But that card is poised to be very good now that Fury's gone. It's a 1/2. It gets it so it avoids your Ren and 6s still, but also has the ability to power out your legendary creatures such as Omnath and other goodies fast. And I mean, honestly, Fury had just kept it kind of in a box for quite a while, and now I think it's going to actually get to make an impact on the format. So if you don't have them, also, you could just buy the holiday bundles for the Lord of the Rings set, and you can get your new Surge foil, whatever version.
Oh, yeah. Also, your scene cards, which, as I understand, came out kind of a discount.
Well, the value in those boxes was atrocious. That was the biggest problem.
Is it?
You can't sell $150 worth of scene cards when the cards total up to $100.
But they make a scene, JJ. Make a scene. All right, I'll jump in next. JJ thought he was going to get me there. He thought, Corbin talked about Halfling before the cast. they'll definitely pick it. No, instead, I'm sealing one out from underneath you, Doctor Who guy. Gallifrey stands.
This is a good one.
It's a bulk rare. And here's the deal. We talked about the 14th Doctor, putting all those Doctor cards in your graveyard. Well, guess what? Gallifrey Stands is the 6-mana legendary enchantment that returns all Doctor cards from your graveyard to your hand. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you can put a Doctor card from your battlefield if they're to win the game. This is the, I don't want to call it a meme, but this is the fun alternative win condition. But it's definitely with the 14th Doctor, bring them all back.
Yeah. And it's flavorful.
Yeah, it's a bulk rare. It's even the extended art is $1.
It's directly ripped from the 30th anniversary special. So that's great too.
DJ, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at a card that is going to be based on the Fallout set that is coming at some point next year. And Jason picked a card with the dice roll a TV guy from last week. And this week, my pick is based on Dr. Madison Lee, and she is the Energy Commander. It's the first time we've seen Energy since Kaladesh or Aether Revolt. They've never revisited it in any other Commander product or any product, really, just because it's a very weird, specific parasitic
Bad mechanic.
It's weird, too, because this was the mechanic that I almost said Dr. Mark Rosewater. That would be that's a nightmare. Yeah, that's a universes beyond I never want to visit. But I almost said Mark Rosewater, this was his pet mechanic for those who don't know. Ever since original Mirrodin, this is a mechanic he pitched back in 2002 or 2003, and they didn't put it in original Mirrodin. And then ever since then, he was just trying to shove it into something for the past 13 years. They finally gave it to him in Kaladesh. So they said, all right, here's your energy mechanic that you can use to fuel your artifact. And then it was, of course,
What's the worst that could happen?
No, it was really good. It was just they had a couple broken cards.
No, it wasn't.
The problem was there was no way to interact with it.
That's one of them.
But
anyway, Dr. Madison Lee is a Jeskai colored commander that gives you a lot of energy. And my pick is Joyra Weatherlight Captain. She does not directly give you energy, but she gives you card draw whenever you cast historic spells. And the Doctor gives you energy when you cast artifacts. And even if this card is not played in the deck very much, I have faith that Joy will continue to see play in any deck that can play her, because historic cards are the meta now, for lack of a better term. Every card is legendary. Every card is an artifact. Every card is a saga. All of these things are just very, very popular tropes that just Magic continues to push. And Joyra is reprintable. Sure, she is definitely the kind of card that could go in a Commander Precon, but I think she might be a little too powerful for that. So
she's been and it's a mythic as well from original Double.
It was downshifted to original to rare and Double Masters.
In Double Masters, yeah. So, but at least there's less copies from the original set flooding.
Yeah, card is roughly $1.50. It is very, very, very powerful, and just the kind of card that could see a spike from this. I would also just, as an asterisk, look at other cards that deal with energy. Aetherworks Marvel is the big one that already spiked upon the previewing of Dr. Madison Lee. That was the very easy go-to. But Joyra is pretty high up there on the EDH trick list, and she hasn't really moved much at all. So I think she's easy pickings if you just want to grab 4 or 8 or something for $1 or $2.
All right, there you go. We got some picks of the weekend and that bonus pick of the week. Well, everybody, thank you so much for listening. DJ, JJ, thank you for podcasting with me. JJ, thanks for now. You're going to have to listen to yourself later when you edit, which isn't going to be the best time for you. Because I always hate listening. Right? It's just terrible.
Well, it just sounds completely different. You just play it back at 2x. And it sounds completely different.
You just oxygen your voice with you just add some helium to your voice to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to give a shout out to our sponsors, MTG Stocks, and of course, Coalesce Apparel and Design, where you can use the gift code Brainstorm Brewery off your order for any merch on the website, not just ours. Perfect for the holidays, so go check those out. And of course, we want to give a shout out to all of our patrons who support us at patreon.com/BSB. You are the reason. We really appreciate you. So everybody, thank you for listening to Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week.
Hey, DJ.
Yeah.
New t-shirt when? New t-shirt when? I'm the voice of the people. When is it coming? When are we getting our new t-shirt?
I will send an email to Cedric when I have a second. I need a voice of the people to like actually like react.
Remind you on a Wednesday afternoon?
No.
Any
Like,
others?
I asked like, hey, I need react emoji so I can show Cedric that this shirt has demand. And there was like 5 people that reacted, so I need more people than that.
That's it. You heard it. Discord, get on it.